Hi, everyone. Welcome back to It Depends, I Guess podcasts. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Caroline.
And at the back we have
DJ.
Yes. And we have a guest today. This monstrosity here shall be discussed later.
Yes.
No, but thank you so much for coming back. This is episode
Five.
Five.
You're on episode 5.
Woohoo. Pew.
Piang, piang, piang. You can get those sounds. Piang, like
Got
drum
them somewhere
rolls.
Here. Hold on. No, that's not it.
Yeah. Thank you for coming back. Today, this is just a catch up, shoot the shit, if you will.
Yes.
Sorry, I cussed. But yes. So I'll start with asking you how you're doing first of all.
Since the last episode 4, I'm doing pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
I was back home in Kenya, had a great time. I'm back to the cold, but I'm loving it that spring is springing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes. And what about you with your guest?
So it's a long story. Long story.
Yes.
But I'm doing good. Now I'm out of hospital.
Yes.
So that is, yes, I'll give the whole story, but yeah, I'm home now, which is good.
Yes.
Yeah, anyway, I'm good. I feel like maybe it's because I've been cussing my body out.
Yes.
My body is saying, "Oh, you want to talk about me?
Can I say you brought it upon yourself?
Why?"
For Titus.
But it's a reality. It's what's happening to me.
For Titus, you called on to For Titus.
It is
For
what-
Titus
it is-
came knocking.
Is what's happening to me, but
Yes.
I don't know what else to do. But
So on another episode of For Titus.
otitis, yeah,
yes.
this time it came with I have a boot. There was surgery. There was all the things.
Yes.
Drama,
Yes.
suspense,
Yes.
tears.
Yes.
But yes,
So, yeah, we'll talk about it and
Yeah.
the experience.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
yes. DJ, how have you been?
All good. No
Yeah.
complaints. Just
Yeah.
came from Gambia.
The
I
Gambia.
guess start us off. Tell us about your trip.
The trip was great. I enjoyed it. Went with a few friends. We enjoyed the time there. Smokey and Yera. It was good. Yera just bought a club out there, so it was good to see it in
Nightclub.
person. Nightclub.
Yes.
Yes. I was wondering what kind of other club is there. I was not trying to
It could
think.
be a football club. you know?
Yeah, could
Yes.
be a sex club.
That's
It could,
true.
yes.
That's true.
Could be a
That's
polo
We're not
club.
judging
No,
her
you
here.
didn't buy a sex
Sports
club or a
club.
football club.
Yes.
No, none of the above.
Yeah.
You got a nightclub and it's popping. It's popping.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yes.
To see it in person, and he was just talking about it the last time.
Yes.
Nah, to see it in person is different. It's the hip place in Gambia. It's called Club Infinity.
Infinity.
Club
Or is
Infinity.
it Infinity Club? Yeah, it's Club Infinity. Yeah.
No, yeah. It was amazing to see him talk about the idea to now
Yes.
like fruition.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's really dope.
It's really-
Yes.
It's nice. It's nice to see someone just make moves and not talk too much. He just went out and did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're ever in the Gambia, Club Infinity is
Yeah.
where to
In
be.
Banjul.
Oh, Infinity Club, just in case I'm wrong.
What cool things did you get to do in the Gambia?
We went horse riding. We went walking with lions. That was in Senegal. though.
Senegal?
Yeah.
Oh, so
we
you
went
hit up
walking
two
with-
countries
Yes,
in one
yes.
trip.
There were 2 countries in one trip.
Oh, yeah.
How long does it take to
It
drive?
took us about, the drive wasn't that long.
Yeah.
It's just the ferry across.
Okay.
Yeah, that was mad. That was crazy. I've never
what
seen
way?
such
What is
chaos.
crazy?
Chaos. Where there's it's like an open boat, so you drive straight on.
Yeah.
And there's no edge, there's no boundary. So you could walk straight. You could drive your car on and off. The same. So usually there are gates and stuff that will keep the car from going off on the other side. And the people standing there, everyone is like fine.
Wait, there's no gates.
No, there's no gates.
Like there are
It's
no
open.
rails
There
on
are
the
no
end.
rails.
Okay.
It's just off, and you can walk straight off.
What about pedestrians? Like, are they on the same
pedestrians,
level?
They're on the same level as the cars.
Yeah.
Sometimes the boat is too full, so where the cars are parked, people just sit on the floor.
Oh, so it's a one level
It's
open
just
boat.
one level open boat.
Oh.
It is mad.
Now
But-
that makes the Coney Ferry.
Yeah, it
in
makes the
Mombasa-
ferry we have in Mombasa very sane.
yeah, no. It was crazy. It was crazy. And the name of the boat was Kunta Kinte.
Kunta King.
Yes.
So I'm not laughing.
No, I don't know what you find funny about that, but that was the name of the boat.
Okay.
Do you know what the nickname was?
What's the nickname?
Kunta.
Kunta.
Yeah.
Damn.
Toby.
Reminds me of a song, Kendrick Lamar. Kunta?
Oh yeah,
King
he does
Kunta.
have a it's-
Kunta, yes. He
King
does-
Kunta.
King
King
Kunta.
Kunta.
I
Yes, he
think about
does
that
have
for
a
a
song.
I
Yeah.
should know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But did you do the ferry when?
Yeah, when I went to Kenya, yeah.
Yeah.
That one is
So not that's
it's nice.
that looks
That
very sane.
looks very like that was,
Oh.
and this one was, but it was something whereby I was panicking for the people, but the people are not panicking. So I was on behalf of
They
the
probably
people.
do, and the people who are business people who
Yeah.
probably do it like a few times
Yes.
a day,
Yes.
moving
Yes.
goods
People
back
are
and forth.
moving goods back and forth. This guy had a full blown cow.
What?
Yeah, on it.
What do you mean a cow?
And
Like
then,
he was
the animal,
herding
a
the
live
cow?
animal. No, the one just, it wasn't a big cow, but it was a calf.
Okay.
Yeah, he
okay.
brought it onto the boat. It was fine. It was fine.
No, their cows can be chaotic.
Yeah,
Yes.
so I was thinking, man, you're just one wrong move. And it's not the type of situation where you would think, hey, if someone goes over, we'll have to stop. Man overboard, you know, the way they
Yeah, no,
They'll throw a thing for you and be like,
Yeah,
hang
I think
tight.
they say good luck. He was a good guy.
Oh my
Oh
god!
no.
But have they had incidences before? Did they tell you any stories where they've had incidences?
The customer service there was non-existent. It was only the people that shuffle you onto the thing, and then they stay behind. Weirdly enough,
Yeah, this is how I can tell you've been in Europe for a long time.
they shuffle you onto it,
The
and I'm
fact that
looking
you
for.
have the concept of customer service is hilarious.
No, but it was an experience because me and Smokey were looking at each other. No way, those guys. Why are they staying there? And so who's gonna? If something happens, like
Also,
fight
they
breaks
shuffle
out,
you onto the
onto
thing,
it,
and then they
remain
online.
behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there's only the guy who operating the engine. There were two
Oh,
engines, but there was just one guy
okay.
operating the one engine that was working.
And
I don't
how
think
many
the
people
other
are on
engine
this
was-
thing?
I'd say close to about 150, 200 people. Yeah, no,
Wow.
it was a big ship as well. So yeah, but it was. You know, sometimes I think that, you know, I've been so normalized with the way things operate this side that I think that anything like that is crazy. But people are living like that. And
Yes, yes.
you know,
Yeah.
it's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's a problem for me who's looking at it, but for them, this is our life,
Yeah.
and we've accepted it.
But also something you were saying after you came back that made me realize I've never been to Zim yet.
Yeah,
And but I don't know, I guess the idea I have of Zim is also very different.
yeah,
But also when you're talking about we're talking about something, you're talking about building plans and building
plans.
permissions
Yes,
and
yes,
things like that.
yeah.
I was like, what are you talking about? And you're like, no, like in Zim, you have to get like building permissions, and you're like, you're told it comes with the city, and this is if you have a compound that's this size, you
Yes.
can only build a house of a certain footprint,
Yes.
Yeah.
and blah blah blah.
It has to
I was
be
like,
like a
must be
ratio
nice.
of the land.
But wait,
has to
don't
be
we
just,
have that in Kenya as
We
well?
have in specific areas where they
Yes.
have very strict resident associations.
Yes.
Like I know some parts in Karen, some parts in somewhere along Thika Road where there's it's very strict.
Yes.
But most of other places, no, you've not seen how the images that go around on social media where someone has built an apartment. If your property is say 100 by 100 meters,
Yes, yes.
the footprint of the apartment is 100 by 100 meters.
Yeah.
And the person next door is same. So
Yeah.
it's like my back window is you looking
against the wall.
into your bedroom.
Yes.
We're like we can
we can
high five each other
Yes,
and we're
yes.
in two different apartment blocks.
Yeah, yeah.
So in some places, yes, but that's because of strong residents association and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
But most of the time, like things have just fallen off the wayside.
I do feel like we do take plans to maybe the local government to get them approved, but you might get that yes, they got approved, but they never like followed certain specifications. So they will
But
have
you're
an
talking
approval.
about like if you have a property in CBD.
Not really. Like in Thika, I'm in Thika, and if I want to build something, I have to. Well, I live in Thika.
But is it thicker in residential or thicker town?
And
'Cause
in
town-
residential.
Okay.
I still need approvals.
Let me tell you.
Yeah.
Going where am I? No. No. I have seen people build, your property is 100 by 100. The house is 100 by 100, 2 floors. Your balcony is over
Yeah.
into the other person's property. There is no...
Maybe what they check within those approvals is do you have a sanitary way of
So
you know,
yes, in those
like-
areas where like, where is your refuse going
Filtrate,
through?
yes,
Blah,
yes.
blah, blah.
Yes.
But most things have just kind of...
But
Yeah.
I noticed it like when I was younger. See, I left Zimbabwe a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
and from what I remember, there were places you went like there. It seems like everyone has got space. Okay, so guy driving a Rolls Royce can live next door, and then this guy has got no food next door. In Zim, it's different. When I went to my homeboy's place, that they've got money, all the people in that area have money.
Okay.
When I went to my other friend's house, that they're not wealthy, but they live a middle class.
Yes, yes.
All of them are middle class.
Okay.
And when I went to the township or Mbare or somewhere in Zim, all the people there are of the same.
Yeah.
So it was different to see. There's no neighborhoods where you see that one guy is rolling a Bentley and then the other guy doesn't even have food. No, I didn't see that.
So areas are kind of zoned
out. Yeah,
and also it depends with the district
status.
you're in.
Yes.
Yeah.
Is it the same in the Gambia or how did it?
In the Gambia, it's listen, everyone, like the area we're in, like people would come over. Like there were mosques in the area.
Yeah.
So in the mosques where the kids are studying to the Quran and they're doing all this stuff, they didn't have enough food to feed these kids, but they still have to learn the Quran while they're there.
Yeah.
So they'd come knocking on the door because they can see we've got a big wall.
Okay.
So whenever when Yara built the property, he also stuck a tap going outside so they can drink water.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because the rest of the area
the
didn't have it.
community.
Okay.
So these kids will come and knock on the door and they know that, okay, they have breakfast at this time.
Yeah.
So they'll just come and knock and see if we've got anything for them. So you'd end up
give
giving them and then they go back to the mosque and study
Okay.
Quran. You know? So you wouldn't. Then again, they're no Muslims in Zimbabwe as well. So I don't know if that's,
Oh yeah, because also Gambia is a more Muslim country,
Massively.
and they're much more socialist.
Yeah. And
Or
they
what-
they give a lot to the community.
Yeah, they're very
Yeah.
community oriented.
Yeah.
No, yeah, it was humbling because you'd see people who don't have anything that still give. So the guys who actually worked in they'd never finish the bread that we've all bought here.
Okay.
So they would know that them kids are gonna come knocking.
Yes,
So
yes.
at least we'll give them one loaf
Okay.
and then they can chop between the two of us.
Yeah.
But the thing is that once you do it, you can guarantee there you
More
go,
of
mark
it.
your house.
Next day, yeah.
But
Which
that's
is
nice.
it was nice. It was nice to see that.
Yeah. I've been to Gambia once and I feel like they're very just so
Such nice people.
such nice people.
Oh.
Very, very
They're called the
community-oriented.
smiling
people.
coast of
Yeah.
Africa,
Yeah.
right?
100%.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
hardly need security in the club.
Yeah.
Where it's not actually, in most clubs you'd find it, okay, we're in the club. Popping bottles? Nah, we're popping bottles of Fanta and Coke. That's what we're
Oh,
popping.
it's not a drinking cup.
Nah, it's not
It's also not a drinking culture.
So you would get there and say, listen, so boys, what we doing? Hey,
Fanta orange.
I'll do Fanta orange. I say, yeah, okay, as your mixer. No. Fanta and orange, that's what I'm drinking.
Main drink for the night.
So I was like, okay. So we'll just get a bottle of whiskey here, and then we had to polish the whole bottle by ourselves.
Oh, wow.
Nobody else was drinking.
Wow.
You know?
Not Nairobi. Tell
Yeah.
you that.
Oh, Nairobi is a different. You've been to Nairobi.
Yes,
like,
yes, it's a different scene there. I know the energy there is different.
yes.
You know, and you'd think that it's alcohol fueled excitement in the
Yeah.
club. No, it's
It's
purely
just
sugar.
It's sugar.
sugar high.
Purely sugar. That's it.
Sugar and vibes.
I'm telling you.
And vibe, good vibes.
Good
Wow.
vibes.
It was nice though. It
Yeah.
was nice, and then just, the politeness of everyone is just shocking.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
People are really nice at that.
yeah, they are so nice with such nice people.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, it was an experience. Definitely going to do it again.
Yeah.
We'll bring you guys along.
Yeah. No,
Definitely.
next time. Smokes if you're watching, apparently. This birthday invites only go to men.
And
It's
Yara,
alright.
yes.
It's all good.
Right.
We want to visit the Gambia.
It's all good. Yeah. You'll also see your Kenya trip in pictures. But yes.
No, it wasn't like that.
know,
It wasn't like that.
No, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Tara, tell us about your trip to Kenya.
Talking about Kenya, in February, I was in Kenya. It was my sister's 40th birthday.
Ooh, welcome to
Woo woo to the
40 club.
40s, to the 40s club.
Uh-oh.
And she's already talking about fortitis.
Is she?
Yes. You wake up.
tell
you
her
go-
to whisper. Her body might hear you and say,
Yeah, she has to learn this lesson now.
Let
You
me
don't
tell
call
you.
it too loud. Yes, and it was a week of celebration. Friends of Harris. We went down to Diani. Diani is always a
me some
good time.
Diani.
Yes. But when I was in Kenya, there's been like a heat wave. So it was absolutely hot.
Oh, hotter than normal.
Hotter than normal, hotter than what you would expect in January or February. So Nairobi itself was hot. Now Diani was even hotter.
Diani is already like an oven system.
Yes. The heat and the humidity.
Yeah.
But I go by something a friend of mine who owns some villas in Diani tells me every time I go there and complain and say, oh God, it's so hot, it's so hot. It's like, here we are selling the sun. Without the sun, we will not have the tourists
complaining. That's true. That's a good point.
Yes, so
that's a good point.
They're selling the sun in Diani, and they absolutely love when it's hot, so they get the tourists in.
Yeah.
We stayed down in one of the hotels, and I have to say it was fantastic.
Yeah,
like, I had
looked good on Instagram.
Yes, it did, and we had so many activities planned, and we celebrated it the best way we could.
Yeah.
And anybody else coming into the 40s club, we're ready to come celebrate with you.
That's true.
Yes.
I mean, always celebrate like birthday milestones. I never used to be a birthday milestone person.
Yeah.
But I think it's a cool thing to do.
Yeah.
Especially, I mean, not to complain about 40. 40 is great. No, but I think it's dope. And actually, Diani, if anyone is listening who's not from Kenya, Diani is on the coastal part of the country, and it's south coast.
Yes.
So we call it South Coast because actually it's the southern part of the coastal block in Kenya, and it like has a lot of activities.
Yes.
Very accessible now. There's like so many flights to just the Diani, the airport
there is an airstrip, Ukunda airstrip.
Airstrip, yeah.
So from Nairobi to the airstrip is 1 hour. But can I just say that airstrip is so short? Every time you're landing, you're holding on to the chair in front of you.
It's like they're delivering potatoes. It's like, get out. And your bags are shuffled to the side. Next.
But it's fantastic. Like, it's so accessible.
Yeah.
Diani is so accessible. But what I noticed about Diani is that when you go there as a tourist, you sort of only stay within the strip. So sort of the Diani Road, the seaside road. But on the other side, there's a whole town. There's Ukunda that most people don't get to visit, which has lots of shops. The locals stay there.
Craft markets.
Yes, craft markets. And also like everyday life. Like sometimes you can go to Diani
everyday life
and forget that you think like a whole of Diani. And a few meters away is Ukunda, which is really a bustling town.
Yeah.
I love Diani and the south side of our Kenyan coast. Yeah.
I love me some Kenya, I'll tell you.
Yeah. And we discovered...
I might be biased, but...
Yeah, sorry. We discovered some new spots like around the strip, the Diani coast, So some clubs that I had not known about before. So
do you know the funny things? I think most of the times I've gone to Diani, maybe it's... Oh, okay. During the pandemic.
Yes.
Is when I was in the coastal side that I did go to the clubs. But most of the time I'm in the hotel.
Yes.
And then I guess also most of the hotels have structured themselves in a way that you can do so much within.
Yes.
Right? So you do a lot of activities, a lot of stuff. So you tend to find that you can be there for even 10 days.
Okay, yes, that's
and
true.
You've done so much, whether it's within the hotel or with like going to like see the dolphins or what activities. And so you find that, and then also the hotel bars are usually pretty good.
Yes.
Right? So you might find that, but I think I need to explore more outside, especially nightlife wise.
Yes.
But usually I go into the town during the day to like buy stuff and shop. But by nightlife wise, I need to kind of explore a bit more. But strangely, I explored during COVID, which was, there was curfew.
The worst time.
That curfew was a suggestion.
At 10 p.m.
Actually, that's the one place we went out, and then at curfew was at 9 or 10?
I think it was 10.
10.
Yes.
So at 9:30, they come and start asking you, do you have a car? Do you come with a car? And we're like, oh, no, I didn't come with a car.
Yeah.
People who had a car, this club next to it had some apartments. So if you came driving, you're asked to drive your car and park it in the apartments. So it looks like These are cars that belong to people who live in apartments. And then everyone else, you're locked in the club.
Oh.
Until it was, curfew was 10 to 4.
I think to 4 a.m.
Yeah, so then you're locked in the club.
Can I make a guess where this is? Was it Manyata on Diani? On the road,
like,
Diani Road?
I know we want to party, but is it this serious? Oh my God, that was so funny. But yeah, that was, like, I don't know. Kenyans, I mean, it was a good time. It was a good time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm glad you had a good trip.
Yeah, it was a fantastic trip. And what about you?
Well,
tell us about what happened.
Me, I was here. Well, first of all,
I thought you were about to say you enjoyed trip. You see what I did there? Sorry, it's not fun.
Too soon. Too soon. So, I mean, first of all, now I feel like I can call myself, an elite athlete because I have an injury that a lot of professional sports people get.
Yes.
So I went for squash with our friend Jose. Jose. Went for squash. It was literally the last 5 minutes. And we're like, should we cool down? Then we're like, we can play a quick game. So I made a move where I'm trying to move forward quickly. Then I had a loud sound.
Yeah.
Like something, like someone has hit either the wall because the squash court, the back is glass. So it sounds like someone hit the glass really hard. So I turned behind because I'm like, what was that? But then when I turned forward, the only way I can explain it is I felt like the earth was tilting.
Whoa.
So like the floor was coming towards me, but it was me going towards
you were falling down.
Yeah.
Like,
yes.
Like how you see it in slow motion. Like,
yes, literally the best description I can give. The Michael Jackson move where he does forward.
Yes.
That was me. Only I couldn't stop because my Achilles. So the Achilles is this thing at the back of your leg. This little. It feels like a bone, but it's like a tendon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that snapped, and so I had it. Now I thought it was like so even I fell to the ground. There was no pain. But I kind of lifted myself and I looked behind me. So Jose is looking at me and he's like, what are you looking at?
Yes.
I'm like, oh, you didn't hear that sound? Like, did I hit the glass or what happened? He's like, no, I didn't hear anything.
So you're the only one who had that sound?
Yes, I'm the only one who had that sound. Yes.
Okay.
But apparently, it's a sound that only your brain hears.
Oh, wow.
So your brain can hear something break like a tendon snap in your body. But even you, if you're right next to me, you won't hear it. It's just your brain that's hearing.
Like sound travels through your body and then you hear
it was like a
crack.
Loud, yes, literally. Because when Jose is looking behind me and I'm looking, he's like, what are you looking at? I'm like, you didn't hear that? He's like, no. I stand up. Then it feels, if you sat on your leg for too long.
Yes.
And it's kind of gone numb.
Yes.
So you know that feeling when you put your foot down and it feels kind of, that's what I felt. But then I noticed I'm going down again. So I'm like,
oh, like you can.
Then I thought to myself, holy shit, that sound was my leg.
So it took a while to realize.
Yeah, so Jose is looking at me, he's like, are you okay? I'm like, no, I think I broke something.
Yeah.
He's like, are you sure? Because then for him, he was thinking if it's a bone, he could have had it.
Yes. I'm
like, yeah, I'm sure because I'm put my foot down and I feel that weird feeling and it's like I'm tilting. Like I can't, I'm like a swaying tree.
Yeah.
So we hop onto the benches. Jose's like, let me go see if he can get a splint.
Yeah.
Then we go to the hospital.
Yeah.
So he went to the front desk. There was no one. So he came back. He said, let's just go to the hospital. So he had to so I was leaning on him and using my left leg.
Yes.
Yeah. Then I think I text you guys and I was just like, I am going to the emergency room because something has done. And then I called Tando and in my head, I'm like, my foot is, because when I lift my leg, my foot is just dangling. Oh. So I'm thinking I've broken my whole foot. Like it's just,
so
lifeless.
There was no control. Like it's jelly.
No, it was in my head. So what happened is, so I was letting my leg limp because I was thinking if I try and move it, I'll feel the pain because I was still not feeling any pain.
Yes.
So in my head, I'm like, okay, so I just told Jose, we need to rush because in my head, I'm thinking if my foot has broken, I don't want to be amputated. Like, I don't want that to happen. And I'm on the phone. I'm like, oh, I think my leg. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I had something and my foot is just dangling. So Jose, like, when in the car, I'm holding my leg up
Were you in pain at this point?
Still not in pain.
Okay.
So then as we're in the car, on the way, that was like, the hospital was like 12 minutes drive. That was the longest 12 minutes in my life. So I'm in the car, then I start moving my toes. I was like, oh, wait, I can move my toes and I can feel my toes. Then I touched my ankle and I was like, okay, I can feel my ankle and I can do this. And I can feel, and there's no pain in my ankle. So I was like, okay, maybe it's not as bad as I imagine.
Yeah.
So we get to the hospital. There, the hospital is where I started feeling pain because they put me on a wheelchair. And where the tendon has snapped, there you can't feel anything because your nerves have cut.
Yeah.
But a few centimeters above, I could feel some pain. And on the wheelchair, that's where my leg is now resting.
Okay.
So now I'm starting to feel the pain. So we go to the front desk and Swiss people and their paperwork.
Yes.
They're like, oh, you have to fill this form. I'm like, do I have to fill this form now? She's like, yeah, you need to fill the form now. Filling the form.
Yeah.
Then she's like, all right, I need your medical. I gave her a medical card. Then she's like, okay. Then there's this. I was just like, oh my God. I'm like,
all this before you see the doctor.
Yeah, I'm like, what is the thing that I need to fill now?
Yeah.
Because then in your head, it's much worse in your head.
Yes.
So I'm imagining like maybe it's an artery and my bone has broken. So in my head, imagine there's blood pooling.
Yes.
I'm like, I'm starting to think, am I feeling faint?
Yes.
Or not? Am I okay? So then now they took me into the emergency room waiting section. A nurse came to get me. So they put me on the bed. So she's trying to remove my shoe. That's where now the pain starts coming. Because now she's moving. My foot is this way, I'm fine. So when she starts tilting this way, I'm like, no, you can't do this.
Yeah.
So I'm telling her, just cut off the shoe. It's fine. And she's like, oh, no, let's try. And so she came in with a handful of painkillers.
Yes.
She's like, take the painkillers. Took them. And then our other friend Karona had come. So after about 10 minutes, she came back with a junior doctor. So he's like, okay, we need to remove the shoe. I was like, honestly, you can cut the shoe. He's like, no, let's try. So then he's trying to remove the shoe. I told him, okay, this is how I'm feeling pain.
Yes.
So I kind of kept my foot this way.
Yeah.
And then straightening it this way, and then I tell him, now you pull.
Okay.
Versus when I go this way, going this way was just crazy pain.
Yeah.
So I removed it. Turned over, then now he's pressing. He's like, do you feel anything here? I'm like, no. Then I was like, up here I feel pain, now a bit higher up. Then he says, okay, then maybe that's not your Achilles. It seems like it might be a really bad muscle pull. But I'm telling him, but I heard the sound. He's like, oh, you heard the sound? I said, yes. He's like, okay, that's a rupture.
Yes.
So he says, okay, let's take you for an ultrasound.
Yes.
So then we go. The guy doing the ultrasound now was doing it, and he's like, yeah, that's your Achilles. So then he showed me with my good foot. He's like, oh, on your good foot, do you see here? You have a tendon going this way.
Yeah.
Then showed me the other foot. You could see one, like now there was this gap.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. So I was like, oh, he's like, yeah, that one will have to be surgery. But he said, I'll call the surgeon.
Yeah.
So now the surgeon comes. Then I think called the junior doctor. The junior doctor didn't check properly. So the surgeon, I think, showed him how you check.
Yeah.
Which I learned is something called a Thompson test. So if someone squeezes your calf,
yes,
your foot will do this.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Why am I testing with
So now you have, if you lay on your stomach with no tension, if someone pulls here,
okay,
your foot will move.
Because the tendon itself is getting like stretched. So
yes, because the tendon runs up into your calf muscle.
Okay.
So if you squeeze, your foot will do this.
Okay.
So then on my other foot, he'd squeeze, my foot is just... Then he's like, he's like, you see, your foot is not moving. He's like, that is a ruptured Achilles. Then asked me, am I active? I was like, yeah, I'm active. He's like, for active people, you have to do surgery.
Yeah.
And they're like, all right, you're gonna have surgery on Wednesday. He's like, I'll give you 10 minutes to think about it. I'll be back. They came back in 10 minutes, and I was like, yeah, let's just go ahead with the surgery. So they scheduled it. I have to say, Swiss efficiency is a thing.
Yes.
I got into the hospital maybe around 8:30. This is now around 9:30.
8:30 in the night.
Yes,
in the
8:30 in the night.
Yeah.
This is now 9:30. I've seen the nurse, the junior doctor, the ultrasound. The surgeon has come.
You've already even been given painkillers.
Yeah, been given painkillers. The surgeon has already said, okay, we're going to slot you in for Wednesday.
Yeah.
So he comes back in 10 minutes. He's like, okay, cool, we'll slot you in for Wednesday. There's a team that will come and talk to you.
Yeah.
He leaves. The junior doctor comes back in with like documents and is like, okay, Wednesday we'll get in touch with you by Monday about the timing. These are the meds you need to take.
Yeah.
I'll call the nurse to show you. I need to do like injections for blood thinners.
Yeah.
So the nurse is going to come and show you the regiment, etc. So everything, sick certificate, everything is like, here, we'll see you on Wednesday. He leaves, anesthetician. Anesthetician comes in.
Yes.
That's it. Yeah. That's it.
Asks you my history. Have you ever had surgery before? No. Blah, blah. Are you allergic to anything, etc. She's like, okay, I recommend general anesthesia.
Yeah.
It's going to be this, blah, 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 this time, all these different things. Don't eat 6 hours before you come in. Don't have coffee. Don't blah, blah, blah. Everything good. Yes, sign. Next, nurse comes in. He's like, okay, here are the meds you'll take morning and evening and blah, blah, blah. Here are the injections. He gave me the first injection.
Yeah.
You'll be doing it every evening by yourself, blah, blah, blah. Do this. Leaves. Next nurse comes now with the boot.
Yeah.
Straps me in, is like, you have to wear this boot, wear it this way.
And all this is within the same hour? 1 hour?
Yes.
Okay.
So by the time all these people come in and everything, it was now maybe around 10:30. This is now 2 hours of all these people coming in. And then now we had to wait for the guy to come in with the crutches.
Yeah.
And then show you how to use the crutches okay, you're going to do this. Don't put your foot down, blah, 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 everything, all these things, all good. Okay, all right. Then other medication you need to get from the pharmacy, gave me all that. 11, I was out.
Yeah.
And I was, Then Wednesday
rolls in.
And they go in for surgery. And I was cool and I was with you.
Yeah.
So we were cool and everything, just chilling. Then the lady comes and is like, okay, now you need to go into the anesthesia team now to prep you to go for surgery. Hey, that is where I have never had surgery.
Yeah.
That's where the water, I was like, I need to call my mother.
Always back to mama.
So I called my mom.
Yeah.
And I'm like just crying. I'm like, I'm going into, she's like, why are you crying? I've never gone under. I don't know how to feel. And my mom is a therapist, first of all.
Oh,
so my mom is just like, I've had many surgeries in my life.
Yeah.
And back then they were just guessing here with bodies. Now technology has come so far, so you shouldn't be worried. Just relax. You're in great hands, and where you live, everything is good. Blah blah blah. I was like, okay. She's like, don't worry, everything's going to be fine. Who's with you? I'm like, Cara is here. She's like, okay, all right. I was like, Cara will give you updates about the surgery, all these things. Oh, before that, my surgeon came. And my surgeon was like a youngish lady. Who was...
We loved her.
Offline. She had lashes. She had tattoos.
I'd never seen this before. Like, you can have like falsies or, those lashes. Then you have like gems on them, like diamonds on them.
Gems on her lashes.
So I was like... Maybe when she's talking to her patients, she's bending over and they only can see her face. So they're seeing diamonds. I was like, this is fantastic.
And she had tattoos. I was like, girl. I was like, okay, it's a lady who looks like she knows what she's doing. So I was like, okay. So then I got to build out to the anesthesia team. They were really cool. Then I went down so quick.
Oh, is it?
So
did they tell you like how long it took you to go down after you woke up?
No, I didn't ask.
But how do you know it was quick?
Because she was telling me, we'll talk to you. So this lady preps you. And then she now calls her supervisor.
Yes.
Then they go through a checklist. So the supervisor is like, blah, 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 check, blah, 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 check. All this is happening in German. So I'm like, they could be saying, did you eat breakfast? Yes. Did you? Who knows? Then she said now after they've put your IV line, there's the other 2 openings. So she said, okay, I'm injecting your first anesthesia. She said you'll feel a bit heavy and tired. That was the end.
Oh,
I just had heavy, tired. Next thing I was being woken up. And they had this like chart with faces of happy, slightly had less happy, neutral, angry, very angry, like crying. And that's like pain. So they tell you, point how you're feeling. So I woke up, I pointed like, because I was like, woo, is that my leg? So I pointed. Then they morphine you out. Wake up again, show you a chart. You point.
Yeah.
They give you like then at the point where I was neutral, then now the surgeon comes and the surgeon now talks you through. This is what you went through. This is what you did. It was good. Blah blah blah. Then she asked me if I want to see pictures of my foot. I said, "Oh, you have pictures? Show me."
Yeah.
She showed me. Her bodies are weird things. Yeah,
I've seen those pictures as well.
Yeah,
I saw them.
Yeah, I told her come tomorrow. She's like, I can come again tomorrow. And she said, yeah, come tomorrow. So then, like, the friends who were there,
you wouldn't want to see.
Nah.
It's not. It's weird. It's just you see your skin peeled. It's like open like a banana.
It's open, and then you can see where
flesh on the side.
Yeah,
you know those YouTube group, not YouTube, WhatsApp groups with guys.
Yeah,
we are always trading Mexican gangland killings.
Oh.
So that's the first thing I thought. I was like, I've seen one of them. I've seen them chop off someone's head with a blunt knife.
Oh, that's gruesome.
And the guy was so annoyed. He stabbed the guy who gave him the knife, then went back to chopping this other guy's knife.
Oh my God.
We might have to edit that out. I'm not sure.
Wow. No. It's not
so that's what I was thinking. So I was like, nah.
It's just your foot. And then also it's interesting because your tendon, there's no muscle. So it's your skin, then your tendon.
It's
so
white.
there's no...
Is it white, is it?
Yeah.
Or it's cream.
But the thing is, they're surrounded by blood as well.
Yeah, and flesh.
Yeah, so it's flesh. Yeah, a little bit of flesh. Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks, So that showed it before, like where it was the two distant. Then she showed it now, like they pull it together and they stitch it together. Then they I apparently had an extra tendon somewhere in my calf.
Yeah.
So she took it and then put it on top.
Yeah.
And then, So, then I came back into the room. Then, and the surgeon is pretty good because it took Carol's contact. So then she calls her after the surgery and gives her an update of how the surgery went.
Can I say the waiting time was the longest time I've ever had to wait for anything? Because once they take you down to the OR, the operating room, they don't give you updates about what's happening.
So it's just silence.
It's silence. Radio silence. They only call you after the surgery. And I think you went down like around 11:30 in the morning.
And I came out, it was almost 3 p.m. by the time I was...
Oh, you came around almost 4 or 5 or something.
Yeah, so they kept me in that whatever place for long.
Yes.
Then they released me later. But I spent a good time just laying there.
Yes, they told me that... after the surgery, you're sort of put in sort of an ICU state where they're making a lot of observation. Because I started to worry, and whenever a nurse would come in, I'll be like, where is she? Where is she? And she told me, you're sort of put in high observatory state. So they're looking out just to see your vitals are good, if you're waking up. And when they rolled you in, they have to make sure they roll you back into the patient's room where you're supposed to stay overnight when you're fully awake and you're talking. Yeah.
So they brought me back in. Well, the one thing I learned in this process is morphine is not for me.
Yes.
There's part of after coming out from surgery, on the next day.
Yes.
Because you were there, then our friend Lynn came.
Yeah.
Then, did Carol also come that day?
I think she came the next day.
The next day?
Yeah.
So the next day, you guys were telling me things I was saying that I can't remember from the day before.
Yeah. You were like, oh, I am seeing things in slow motion. Then you're like, open the window. It is very hot. We can so laugh loopy. Now.
I was so loopy.
Yes.
And I was just like, it was odd.
Yeah.
Then I thought, maybe it's just the general anesthesia. Then that night, in the middle of the night, like the nurse came through and she's like, how is your leg? I was like, I have some pain.
Yeah.
So she shot me with some morphine. The next day I told her, just don't give me morphine anymore.
Yeah.
Because I'm dizzy, then I'm sweating and the pain goes immediately.
Yes.
No pain. But people talk about how morphine is like, it's feel good.
Yeah.
Not for me. I kept feeling like I'm going to throw up. I just could not stand that feeling.
I've had the same feeling, the same exact feeling actually with morphine.
Yeah.
So sometimes I even wonder to myself, why is it an opioid that people chase after? If I've had this during surgery, I feel terrible.
Yeah.
There are people who actually react differently.
Yeah.
Like for them, it gives them
it's a good feeling.
It's a good feeling.
It was not me. That was not me.
That was disappointing to you.
That was not me.
They also gave you oxy,
so
which is another.
Yes. Now the next night, in the middle of the night, the nurse comes. She's like, "How's your foot?" I'm like, "Yeah, I have some pain." She said, "Oh, let me come back." Said I told her I can't take morphine. Like you can't. She's like, "Yeah, what's in your file? Morphine is the one." I told her I that feeling, and it took a long time to shake off the feeling.
Yeah.
So they can give me morphine now, and 10 hours later, I'm still feeling like not great. So she said, "Oh, okay, let me come back." So she came back with like a little pill. Told me, "Oh, it's nice. It's like bonbon, like sweet." I said, "You don't even need butter. It's so good." I said, "Oh, okay." Well, then she's like, I asked her, "What is it?" She's like, "Oh, it's oxy." I said, "All right." Hey, let me tell you. The hallucinations I had that night. Do you know I was sleeping holding onto my bed? And it's like, you're falling, that period you're falling asleep, that in between place you're in.
Yeah.
It's like that's where I stayed. I'm not falling asleep. I'm just there.
So you're hyper aware.
So I'm aware, but then my body is trying to fall asleep.
Oh.
Then sometimes I don't know if I'm asleep and I'm dreaming, but then I don't know, it seems like it's real. So I'd keep waking up.
So you've enmeshed your reality with whatever is happening around you.
And then the nurses have to come check on you at night.
Yes.
And they come with a little flashlight. Hey, I was like,
they've come for
if
me.
I'm dying, it can't even be my dad to come get me. Who the fuck is this? Like, what is happening? Oh my God. It was terrible. In the morning, around 7.
Yeah.
Then now the nurse shift changes and they come and they wake you up and they tell you, they take your blood pressure.
Yeah.
So the first nurse who came to wake me up, take my blood pressure, and then they tell you, "Oh, I'm changing my shift with this person." So they have to ask in the morning, "How are you doing? How did you sleep?" I was like, "Not well. You gave me oxy and I was hallucinating and I had nightmares. This is terrible." They're like, "Oh, okay, we are so sorry. We'll go put that on the file."
Yeah.
Then you go back to sleep. Then a few minutes later, somebody wakes you up for breakfast. Then the physio came. I didn't know it was a physio.
Yeah.
This is like 20 minutes later, somebody comes and wakes me up. I'm like, "Oh, Jackie, how are you doing today?" I'm like, "Not great. They gave me oxy." I'm like, "I'm not happy. That is not right. They should not have given me that." And then she's like, "Okay, I'm just the physio. I came to help you, teach you how to walk with the crutches, but I'll give the nurses your feedback."
I hope they put that back on your file or something.
Yes. Yeah. So then now that evening, the nurse, the new nurse, the one on shift came and I told her I can't have opioids. She came and she told me, "Oh, I'm taking over the shift."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Yeah, so I see oxy didn't work well with you." I said, "No."
Yeah.
And she said morphine. I said, "No."
Yeah.
So she's like, "Okay, maybe for you, no opioids." I said, "Yeah, just give me regular."
Man, that's the good stuff.
I know. I always wonder, maybe there's already some research, like there are some people who...
But what are the other options?
Just
the other things, the ibuprofens, the like really heavy ones, the ones that are like
1,000 grams,
1 mg or something, or even more. Because you had an ibuprofen, so some anti-inflammatory and some paracetamol, and you were getting the top. You were taking all of them together at the highest dose.
So they give you like 4 or 5. I'm like, give me that.
Did you leave with any?
A whole bunch. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But at least now I'm
something else we might have to edit.
Are you asking if she left with some opioids or something?
I did. And this is so funny. As you were texting my brothers on the WhatsApp, they're like, "Wait, the feel-good drugs you didn't like?" I said, "No."
Yeah.
The feel-good drugs were terrible for me.
I would say like... maybe we should look it up somewhere, because it seems like there are different body chemistries that would actually give you a good feeling when you have opioids, and some which you don't.
Yeah.
So definitely something to check out.
Yeah. But man, it was. But yeah, so then I had to stay in hospital for like a bunch of days.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, like, I have the most amazing friends.
Oh yes.
In this lifetime, because there was a shift of between this Carol, then we have our other Carol. We call her OG Carol. So OG Carol, then the other Carol, and then Lynn, and then Fego.
We had Fego,
and then also Glenn came through, and Stefan, and it was really dope. And then once Yara came back from Gambia, I want to pick me up from hospital. But it was good. Like, I had people come, like, you guys came and cooked, make sure when I come home, like, there's food in the fridge.
We also came and did laundry.
Yeah, you guys came and did laundry, as in, I was like, Then the days you brought me food in the house, I was just like, just bring me
can we say
vegetables? I want a vegetable.
You were missing some local food. Like you had been in the hospital for almost like 4 days by then, and you wanted like some home food. Yeah. Things we take for granted. Though their food is good.
The food was pretty good. To be honest, their food was pretty good. And the view, again, I was in a public, what's considered a city
It's actually
hospital.
a city hospital. Yeah, but the private wing of city hospital.
The private wing of a city hospital.
Yeah.
And my view was of the city and the Alps. I was like, what is this like?
Beautiful. It's so beautiful.
But still, I was in a hospital.
Yeah.
So I can't put weight on this foot until next week on Thursday.
Yeah.
I have a follow-up, so I have crutches. And then, so I'm hoping I'll be built like Johnny Bravo, I'll be buff like her. Then now I can start putting some weight.
Yeah.
And hopefully like 4 or 5 weeks I can now walk without the crutches.
Yeah.
Then I start physio.
Okay.
But squash, not until 8 months. 8
Yeah.
months before I can play squash.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping at least I can get back into the gym.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then now at least I can see the world.
Yeah.
Yesterday we drove.
Oh, you went out yesterday? Yeah.
Okay. So I could just be like, outside.
It's like, this is how air smells outside.
Yeah.
But can we give a shout out to Vide Spital?
Yeah.
Stad
Spital Vide. Yes.
If somebody ever listens to this podcast from that hospital, like they really treated you well and treated us well.
Yes,
came to visit you.
The visitors, like, man, so well.
Can I also say, like, having experience with hospitals, there's always that nervousness of, if you don't speak German, trying to navigate language barrier in a hospital is terrible.
Yes.
But when they understood that you spoke English, they had it on their file that you're an English-speaking patient. And whoever would come in would speak to you in English.
Went out of their way to make sure they spoke English. And all the nurses were amazing. Like, just really, really, just really good.
Stadtspital vibe.
Really, really good. Even in the morning, like, I was checking out.
Yeah.
So the doctor came and she's like, okay, today you can go. And they already have all the paperwork. They're like, okay, here is your this. Here is your... I'm like... And then we check out... I got home, 20 minutes later, they text you with like, hey, we hope your stay was good, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Here is a link. You can give us feedback. Like, just really, they already sent a letter yesterday, the day before yesterday, with my appointment for next week, with the time and with...
Congratulations. You've just spent your what's it called? Your health payments. You've just spent them over this period. So technically,
because
I've never used it. Now I feel like
I shouldn't say not health. It's not health. Accident insurance.
It's accident insurance covered by the company.
Yeah,
by work.
Accident.
Damn. So you still didn't use your health insurance?
Nope.
No. Yeah, because it was an accident.
Because it was an accident. Yeah. So it's accident insurance. Which I never knew these things, but now I know.
Yeah.
make sure you have accident insurance.
Yeah.
That works.
But I don't think you can live without it here, can you?
You can.
Oh yeah.
It's not mandatory.
Yeah.
It's not mandatory.
So if accident doesn't cover it, now it goes to health insurance.
Yeah.
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 I don't know why I'm asking so many questions. I don't want to be in the same position because I know it's not nice.
Yeah.
No, you don't. But yeah, thank you for calling me and me. Yeah, that knowing laugh that's for later.
Yeah.
And my mom has been calling me like clockwork.
Yes.
My siblings. They're like, do you have the good drugs? Okay.
Did you get some?
Aren't you going to pocket one just one? Just
No,
I
I
taste
cannot. Let me tell you, no. I honestly am baffled by, because I think in my head I was like, oh, at least the one thing I'm looking forward to is I'll not be in pain and I'll be, you know, just.
You'll be happy.
No, it was no.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that's been my week. So
we are healing.
as my mom said, the universe telling you to sit your ass down. So I'm going to sit my ass down.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Rest. Maybe it's forcing you to rest.
To rest. To be fair, I'm not a good rester.
Mm-hmm.
So being forced to like sit on my hands, that is. That is punishment. And then I was even telling Tando yesterday when we were driving.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's gotten to the point. I see people on the roadside just walking.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at them bragging. They can walk.
But within no time, you'll be back on your feet. At least you can walk a little bit.
Yeah, that's true. No, but it also gives you perspective of the things we take for granted.
Yes.
Yeah. And there's when I was saying earlier today, when I'm on Instagram or social media and I'm seeing like, dance challenges, I forget that I have a bad foot. So I got to stand up, then I'm like, oh, shit, I can't.
Are you trying the new South Africa?
Yeah,
then you are my piano. I've been dancing everywhere.
Yeah, so I am sitting my ass down. But no, thank you to everyone who's like texted me and checked on me and the flowers and everything. Like I know I have a dope community. I can't really complain. But but we want to try and squeeze in
how are we doing?
Session of
You're doing okay.
Yeah.
10 minutes would be great.
We'll see. It might be a long episode, everyone. Sit tight. Actually, one thing I think would be good for anyone listening or whatever, give us feedback. We're just kind of, throwing things at the wall, if you will. Tell us what you like.
Shooting the shit.
Yes. Tell us what you like, what you want to hear more of.
Yes.
Who you'd like to hear less of. Sorry.
Actually, you've been getting good feedback, so maybe.
Yes, actually,
let's not gas you up.
I told you guys, I'm not a reading the comments kind of person.
Let's not gas you up
I take things personally.
Yes.
So that's why I don't know. Even I turn off all my comments on everything. Anything
you're
that
sensitive.
Yeah, I'm a softie.
You're a softie.
Yeah. At least you're aware of that.
Yeah, no, I know. I'll catch feelings, and you won't know because I'll lock it in.
All right.
Yeah. It's not hard. It's not hard to
lock in your feelings. Yeah. That's funny.
So should we proxy the feedback to you or?
No, I'd rather you just keep it to yourself and give me thumbs up once in a while. Say, good.
Okay.
Okay. So good. So good. Okay. Yeah. Cool. You've gotten a really good thumbs up.
That's okay.
Yeah. No, it's been good, and let us know your thoughts. Yeah. We have more things to come. Right? If you see us do very wild episodes, because we are throwing everything at the wall.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look out for the guests we're gonna have.
Yes. We're looking forward to having
some interesting people who've got great stories. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
This one is gonna be.
That's very true.
Yeah.
That is very true.
Yeah.
But you wanted to fit in a story of something that's been trending.
Actually,
the one in the chokeholds.
Yes. So we've had a section where we talk about like what's caught your eye on the internet, on the interwebs lately. And I guess one of the things that blew up around 2 weeks ago or so was the Risa teaser story on TikTok.
Yeah. Did you hear the story?
No.
You haven't?
No. Who's a Risa teaser?
Yeah, it was long. Let me tell you, it was, and someone stitched together, because there were TikToks.
Yes.
Me who's not on TikTok, I don't know what happens there. But someone stitched everything together and put it on YouTube. It's 4 or 5 hours.
5 hours.
5 hours.
So she's a TikToker who sort of did a 50-part series on her marriage and how her marriage turned out to be. And the person she was married to, she called it Who the Fuck Did I Marry? That's a
title
50-part
of it.
series.
Yeah.
And each part is actually 10 minutes long.
Yeah.
So 50 part, you're looking at lots of hours.
Yeah.
And I watched every single part. Yes. It took me like 3 days. And the saddest part is that I realized actually on TikTok, you can speed up.
Oh.
At the very last part. At the 50th part is when I realized that. But she did a fantastic job of taking us through her life story of a person she was married to, called who she called Legion in that story. And it has a lot of ups and downs, but I wouldn't want to spoil it for those who would like to go and back and watch it. But long story short, she met this guy on dating apps back in COVID, and she ended up like quarantining together with this guy.
So she met him just before lockdown.
Just before lockdown, and when she met him, she actually met him on 2 dating apps. So where he had 2 different names.
Okay.
So this was like the first red flag.
Should have been. Okay.
Yes, but she talks about it, and then during quarantine, she had the bigger apartment and he had a small one. So they quarantined together. She was already ish about it. But during this time, he came in hot and heavy, trying to show her, like, I can take care of you. So it was like, I'll buy you a car, we'll get a bigger house, I'm going to buy a house. I don't know. He's played some sort of football.
Yeah.
It's like, I have money in an offshore account.
Yeah, showed her screenshot of his account.
His account of, like, he can put down a deposit or even buy the house cash. Like 750. Then it was like, he's going to buy her a car, which was meant to be a BMW X5 blue with cognac
seats.
Now, actually, on Google, that's the most searched for BMW statistics. Yes. And the thing about this story is that there's so many lies that she could sense something was not right from the very beginning, but she didn't have a word for it. Like, she didn't have way to actually articulate it. So what she was doing is she was taking records of what she's thinking, what she's feeling. So for example, the house, like, I think they saw several houses, and they were to sign off like a specific house which he was gonna buy, and he ended up like not even being the person who signed off that house. I don't know what they call it in the US, but she was almost convinced that this is the house they're getting.
Yeah.
And there is even a point where there is, I think, another house where the realtor was saying, show me the funds before we sign off something. And he was like, why do you want to see the funds? And good love to the internet. People have already put up, created merchandise of show me the funds. Show me the funds. But she eventually learned that he was building her up with so much promise and psyching her up, and then just being happy seeing her getting disappointed, which, first of all, he was a pathological liar.
So he was getting
satisfaction
from
yes.
Damn, it's like giving her the run around and seeing her being excited, and then
yes. And there were so many other things like that would be actually, you would need somebody to get mentally checked, where he was always on the phone every morning, like always talking on the phone and saying, hey, my brother said hi to you. And she'll be like, hey, always on the phone. But it turns out like he was never on the phone with anyone. And he would talk to this person for hours. She later learned that the person supposedly he was talking to was the brother, who was a twin brother actually. But he didn't give her full disclosure. It was like, okay, I have a brother. But it turned out like he had never spoken to this brother for years.
Wait, so who was he talking on the phone?
Nobody.
Or he was talking to himself on the phone?
On the phone every day for like months. Every day. It's like, oh, I need to catch up with my brother. And he's talking on the phone. It's like, oh, my brother says hi.
Do you know how much effort that would take?
I know.
That would take a lot of effort.
I know.
And plus the panic of someone calling you while you're pretending to speak to someone else.
Speaking.
Oh, actually, that's true. Maybe he had turned off the phone.
No, but
I'll put it on airplane mode or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But that's just a small part of the lies that he had
even
coined.
Speak to somebody. Call customer service somewhere and just
talk.
Yes.
They'll never cut you off.
Yeah. But he had to put this lie day in, day out, because I think he had a shift that ended.
Committing to it every day.
Yes.
But I wonder, maybe he was getting some like satisfaction or fulfillment also from just talking.
Maybe letting out,
like just hearing your own voice.
Yes. And also
and
maybe
speaking out loud, like, then yesterday this happened, and it's like speaking to yourself, but you're doing it out loud.
And also it could be because he had already fallen out with his brother, so his twin brother. Maybe he also needed that connection, and maybe that made
even
him
if it was not real, but in his head it feels like he's talking
felt
to
like he still had that connection. And actually, like, he had lied about his job. He had said he was a VP at some condiment company, then changed things over. Like, he had big lies to a point where this guy, he was going to get her. He sort of had her go home at a specific point in time because the car was going to be driven, but he never, like, sort of...
That's next level kind of lying.
Yes, and I really feel sorry for her, I guess, in this essence of...
Yeah.
We see lies every day, and I know, like, we can relate some of this to our Kenyan experience, but this kind of level of lying is on another level.
Yeah, because I'm trying to think if I know of any situations that is like next level lying. No, I don't even know I'm saying next level.
Yeah.
But I assume maybe it's just the regular one. Let me not even say regular. But the ones where there's a whole other family, things like that.
Yes. You can lie by omission.
Normally, no.
I feel like in Kenya, how we've seen things like people who lie, they omit the truths.
Yeah. So omission. I have okay, that's still... No, but I've seen people lie, they're not even omission, even where they're actually caught straight with, that's who is that?
Yeah.
Or saying somewhere, then they'll say, oh, no, that's my sister.
Yeah.
Or that, I've seen people actually lie on their families. Oh, no, those are not my kids.
Yeah.
That was my nephew or my whatever.
Yeah.
I've seen that.
Yeah.
But omission is more common. But this one just feels...
It has a lot of layers to, I believe, something deeper. It turns out all the way at the end of this, she came on to explain a few things after she caught up with the family, where she was like, he had already been diagnosed with something. I don't know if I don't want to say names, but he had been diagnosed with something when he was young, and everybody in the family knew about this diagnosis, but for the people she had talked to, nobody ever told her. So they were confirming to her, yes, you were not crazy.
Oh, but this is now after the fact.
Way after she had gotten a divorce, and she was no longer married to him, and she had moved out, and so sad that she also lost a baby.
Oh yeah, she had a miscarriage. She had a
miscarriage at some point. Yeah, but I think her marriage. She got married like in 2021 and 2022. She got.
Oh, this
divorced.
was in a year.
Yeah, within a year. Yeah.
So, but I do wonder if there is a part of this, because, as I understand, at some point she started clocking like something is not adding up.
Yes.
So she would keep like a tray, diaries of what's happening.
Yeah.
Which I'm like, that's odd. If you really feel like you need to start keep diaries, start keeping track of what this person has said.
Yeah.
Because tomorrow they'll change what they said.
Yeah.
But you hang in there to collect all this information.
Yeah.
And I mean, I can empathize with that, because I know I saw a part of it where she was saying kind of, when she met this guy and she was thinking to herself, oh, finally, she's been looking for someone, and it's like, finally I met this person. And I wonder if part of it is that part where you hang in there with something, because you're like, oh, let me just, even if especially if it's taken you around the block when it comes to the house buying thing. Because it was multiple times, that whole situation, until I think one of them, she called a realtor, and the realtor is like, no, we sold the house yesterday.
Yeah.
And it's not this guy you're saying.
Yeah.
So, but I'm wondering what that is. Like, I can see where someone's thinking, oh, I've been looking for a partner or for this thing, and there's this person, and maybe you're telling yourself, like, yeah, okay, I know it's not perfect. These things are not perfect. But then there's also, this is like beyond perfect. This is now just...
But can I say, like, all of it, it depends, I guess, back to our podcast theme.
Yes.
Because most of the situation, from the way she told the story, is she would discover one thing and then she would file that under because he would come back with another promise. Like, for example, like, I think after the whole fiasco with the house and everything, he knew that she loved, she's always wanted to go to London. And she immediately came with a trip itinerary for London. So,
and did they actually go on the trip?
No, but he had planned everything. So he would give her bait on one thing to make sure that she forgets another thing that he's not done right. So he kept piling on this. So I guess pulling yourself out of such a situation where it's not bad until like they do something drastic is where like you find that people get stuck in some sort of situation.
And there's no financial gain. It's just terrorizing someone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Isn't
crazy? Isn't that crazy?
I know.
That's the part that's...
Yeah.
That is mad.
That's a part where it's just now that goes a bit over there. But I'm also curious, was she telling any of her friends any of these things that are happening?
No. Actually, she mentions that she was a believer in whatever happens in the home stays at home.
One of those ones.
Yes. But she did, when she went through the miscarriage, I think her friend is the one who took her to hospital. So I don't know whether she divulged what was happening to her. But she was sort of a person like, okay, me and my man, like, we solve our own things. Whatever happens at home stays at home.
I'm curious how you feel about this, because I think that's something culturally we've been brought up with.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you don't air dirty laundries is something we're always told,
And
right?
I stand by that. That's true.
Do you really think that that's something that you live by, where you're saying, no, I just, whatever happens in my situation? Okay. Or where do you draw the boundaries?
No, first of all, you give me one drink, I'm a talker.
This is facts.
Those are facts.
These are facts.
But in essence, like, I don't believe in that anymore. But I also believe in, once you find a circle of people who you can confide in without judgment.
Without judgment.
Keyword. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Because most of us are afraid of saying what's happening to us because we're afraid of getting judged.
Yeah.
Because of various things. Could be the way we were brought up, the religion parts of it, So if you find people who do not judge you for the choices you're making or are not trying to solution for you immediately, because sometimes all you want is to express what you're feeling. Sometimes you may not have a solution for it. Yeah. So maybe she didn't have that surrounding her. Yeah.
And so I'm on the same belief as you in terms of I think, and I guess looking back also into many of my relationships before where some shit was really fucked up.
Yeah.
But again, you don't say, right?
Yeah.
And then after the fact, when I'm telling one of my best friends, like, and then they're like, "What? Why would you say, like? Why didn't you say?" Right? And it's interesting how this thing about, and I think it's maybe attached to shame. And I had she's called Toke Makenwa. She's from Nigeria. She was an actress, and now she has a podcast.
Yeah.
But I remember she had an episode where she was talking about how she was married, and I guess it was a very public she was a public person, so I guess her partner was also like a public profile, and she found out the husband was cheating, and it was one of those things you find out with the rest of the world, like in tabloids, whatever. And so she was saying, I found out he was cheating. She said, the next day, I went to work as usual. Then I went for brunch with my friends. And I'm like, hey, this is what is going on.
Yeah.
We drank, and she was like, she had no because I think maybe somebody mentioned to her like, oh, why are you, you're not even bothered or you're not. And she said, he cheated on me. Why am I carrying the shame of what he did?
Oh, that's true. That's true.
So to her, she had no qualms discussing it because she said, it's not to me, it's him.
Yeah.
And it was interesting when she was talking about it, and I thought, yeah, that's interesting. Certain things.
Yeah.
A lot of times women carry shame for things that are nothing to do with us.
Yeah.
So even if you're in a situation and then something happens with a partner, or they say something weird, or they do something weird, or whatever, it's interesting that we feel ashamed, even with friends, right? It's your friends may not be judgmental, but it's just you're the one who feels ashamed.
Yeah.
And it's weird that why are we feeling ashamed about something that's not you're doing?
Yeah, you're doing. It could be, the way I see it is that sometimes that shame comes from that we feel like we are the one who made that choice to be with them. So the shame is bouncing back to us.
Yeah, but it's not, because I think even about this lady's situation, all this shit is, this guy is lying, this guy is doing all this shit.
Yes.
But she's ashamed to tell her friends.
Yeah.
Or discuss with her friends.
Yes.
I agree there's things that are between partners. People can decide what are the boundaries around things that you discuss with your friends or whatever. But it's interesting that he's doing all these things. Oh, I'm buying a house. The house is not getting bought.
Yeah.
We're doing this thing.
Yeah.
But then she's ashamed to tell her friends even if it's not her.
That's true.
Who's not doing this thing.
Yeah. I think with this, with time, we will need to separate those two things.
Yeah.
Because you may have made a choice that is not the very best, but there should be no shame for some other person's action.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Prime example.
Yeah.
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
He did it.
That's true.
But who took majority of the slack?
It's her.
Yeah.
Right? For all his behavior. And she's still to this day in interviews. Do you see Bill Clinton being asked about?
Nobody chances.
But then she's always asked about, hey, Hillary, the way you reacted to.
Yeah.
He's the one who was.
Yeah, but it's Bill Clinton. Come
is
on.
It? But then, curious, asking you as a dude, with guys, like, also, guys are just, yes, relationships are strange.
Yeah, no, listen, we are very simple.
Yeah.
Very simple. I think a lot of the time with guys, there's no, I think with men, especially black men, it starts from when you are very young. You know, when you're told by an older relative or an older cousin that, he's there going to see his other lady friend, but he taps you and say you'll understand when you're a man. You know, that kind of builds a certain idea in your head that the more conquests that I have makes me more of a man. So once I collect as many so that's the way of thinking that's within us, all of us. So it's easier for us to rationalize this whole situation by saying that for men, the amount of times women think about what they're going through and then they discuss it, men are not discussing it like that.
They're looking at it as
I got caught offside. But hey, that's what we do, innit? That's the way it's seen with men. That's what we do.
And men have each other's backs.
Yeah, it's not really a big thing. I say, hi man, I got caught offside. And then tap you in the head to say you're crazy.
Yeah.
And then that's it. But with women, you'll really dive into it and then you'll try and I think women are each other's enemies. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think you guys are just out to get each other.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think
so. Because
it depends. It depends, I guess, in this time.
I don't think so. I think it's marketing. And I think men market this a lot. Where men will say, oh, you women are your own worst enemies. Yeah. And they'll pick an example of, oh man, look at I don't know who's like Cardi B and look at Nicki Minaj.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%. Look at that. But then let's just pick hip hop. In hip hop historically has been a very male dominated field, right?
Yeah.
Now we're seeing much more gender representation in that space. But even if you look at the history of hip hop, why were they called beefs?
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Since Jump, And some beefs have ended up with people not being here. Tupac is not here. Biggie is not here. But for some reason, there's a thing where dudes market this whole idea that you women can't get along.
Actually, men are the ones who take each other down.
People just don't get along. Some women, I might not get along with a certain woman. I might not get along with a certain man.
Yeah.
It's just personalities. But the moment I say I don't get along with a certain woman, it's a spotlight.
Yeah.
It's like
life. You're meant to get along with every other woman who exists.
Just because she's a woman. No, people just don't get along.
Yeah.
But I don't think we are each other's worst enemies. I feel like
but within your circle there's that judgment. But within
men's circles,
no.
But is there no judgment, or is that maybe the conversations we are having, you guys are not even having?
Yes.
So for example, if in your relationship, right? Are there rules amongst guys or for you guys, it's if anything happens in your relationship or something, we're like, I don't know about this. How do I handle this? Or how do I go about this?
Will I ask my guy friends?
Yes. Will you ask your guy friends?
Yeah, I will. But, to be honest, I'm not asking on the basis of whatever they say to me, I'm going to take it. No, I've already made my decision. I'm just, most of the time, guys never really, I don't do it anyway. 90% of the time, when I ask my guy friend something that, I'm thinking about moving in. What you guys think. I've already made my decision a long time ago. Just want to see what the boys think, but we won't dwell on, we won't go back and forth and say, what are the pros and cons?
And things like, let's say, conflict. Let's say you've had a fight or, I don't know, something where it's like, it's, okay, so let me give a scenario maybe on the female side, right? So it would be something like, I'm trying to think of examples we might have. Maybe it was an anniversary or something, and then maybe I was expecting X. This didn't happen. I can go to my friends and be like, this happened. Am I bugging?
Yeah.
Should I? And then maybe Carol will be like, no. Did he know that this is something you wanted?
Yeah.
If not, go talk to him and see.
Yeah.
And then maybe now you'll know going forward, he'll know, anniversaries matter to her.
Yeah.
Or something like that. Or maybe there was a fight or a conflict.
Yeah.
And then maybe it was like, this happened during the conflict. Like, is that weird? Should I feel bad? Should I be feeling bad? Should I not be feeling bad? Or should I reach out fast? Or should I wait for them to? There are things like that where people can give you different perspectives, which to me I find valuable because I think in life we lead with our trauma, right? So how I walk through life is based on what I've experienced. And if I've experienced something bad, I might go into a relationship and sometimes I'm always reacting not from that situation, from something I'm carrying from before. And I find it valuable with my friends, whereby they have a much more objective view and they can tell me, but did he know you wanted this? No. Okay, so then why are you punishing him for something he doesn't know?
Yeah.
That's a perspective I really value. And I don't know if guys...
I feel like that's not quite common.
No, with guys, no.
Yeah.
No.
Because
maybe they might some demographics of guys, or if maybe there's some groups of guys who might be more emotionally amplified, if that's a thing, who are in touch with their emotions like that. But a lot of the time, with the guys, we were, especially at my age, we know we're not going to spend a lot of time with each other. So it's going to be vibes from the time I meet you, because I know they're going to bounce from here. Yeah, so we don't dwell too much on anything that will bring we'll go over it. Yeah, say bullet point, pop, 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 pop. This is what's going on.
So what are vibes about?
Listen, good times. No, 100%.
Football,
football, boxing,
music,
what's happening with Puff Daddy,
Discussing everything else other than new people. Yeah.
I think it's not good. I can accept that it's not good because I think women have more. It's important to share your feelings like that. But as guys, I don't think we know we're not going to spend a long time.
It's not also just about sharing feelings. It's also like as she was saying, like getting perspective that you probably didn't have because you're nurtured a certain way and you have biases because of your nurturing. So even when you're making certain decisions, they're based off your upbringing, your biases, your experiences and all that. So asking somebody else probably who has a different experience gives you a different perspective.
I can see how it makes sense what you're doing. It does make sense.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm making me and my friend group seem so shallow and emotionally disconnected. I don't know how else to say it, I think, from the time we meet each other, it's just going to be vibes,
To be fair, I see it as I only have brothers. And that's something I see a lot because I was just, last year we went to see my brother in the US.
Yeah.
And me and my sister-in-law were just discussing the same. Like, we're asking my brother, like, so hold on. So when you meet with so-and-so, you didn't ask blah, 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 blah. And he's like, nah. I was just like, you good? I'm good. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. And it's just...
If he's got anything to say, he'll say it at that point.
He'll say it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right there.
There's only a small window.
Now, once a window passes.
Listen. Yeah, and you're not going to drag it out. You're going to say what you want to say. Oh, my kids, bro, this is going on. And then I'll be like, yeah, man, I know it's... And they would tap each other on the back. Say, can I get another 2 Heinekens there, please?
Yeah.
Boom. We keep it moving, And there's no really going in depth with it. Maybe my group of... I'm making us sound really shallow. I know serious stuff we do discuss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what's serious stuff here?
I don't know. Tax returns.
So
no, 100%.
So who do you talk to about your emotional stuff?
Emotional stuff?
Yeah.
Well... Emotional stuff? No, I don't. What's emotional?
If you're sad about something that's happening.
No, I just I don't usually when I talk anyway. I just talk for someone to listen and to see if I'm going crazy or what they think I should do after that. I mean.
So, but you will go to your friends with that too.
Yeah, of course.
Okay,
of course.
so then that is deep stuff.
Yeah,
it exists. I guess it's the length of time it takes to have these discussions that could be different from how women approach it and men approach it.
Yeah. That's what the bullet points.
Yeah.
There's a time when Geneva, I think we've gone to Geneva or something, I can't remember. And then I came back, I was telling him, I was like, the weekend was so good. He's like, yeah, on the first night, we went out, then we went for dinner, then we went home, and then we talked, and then we cried, and then we partied. And he's like, wait, what? There was that doesn't sound like a good time. No. But I'm like, no. Yeah. So for me, I'm thinking, no, like we hit, it's full circle.
Yeah.
Like, and then you get those deep realization moments.
Yes. In the middle moments of, yes. And I'm like,
moments of clarity.
I come back feeling so, I'm like, I feel.
Nah, that's not vibes.
Cried with.
That's not vibes.
That's
no.
vibes.
That's vibes for us.
It's wholesome.
It's wholesome.
Yes.
That is it. It's
because when I say vibes, I'm talking about positivity.
No, but crying is not negative.
High fives and fist pumps the whole way.
But that's the thing.
We are laughing at everyone else's situation.
Is not
that's
bad.
exactly what we're doing.
But crying is not bad vibes. It's good vibes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because the way you feel after a good cry,
it's quite
it's liberating.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you. Like when you're a kid and you were punished or beaten, spanked or whatever for something. And then you cry and cry and cry and cry.
And then you go for a nap.
You take a nap. After that nap, the world is roses. What's amazing?
You've even forgotten.
In fact, you'll go hug the person who was spanking you before.
Actually, you can actually go back and do that thing you were spanked for
yes,
again.
Exactly.
Because you forgot
it.
It went full circle.
Yeah. Yes. You cry, you take a nap. The world is good after that, let me tell you.
Yeah.
No, but this is good. Cool. Yes. Thank you all for watching. All our Instagram and all the rest. IG, or it depends, I guess, everywhere.
We'll put it down here.
But yes, please slide in our comments, even DMs if you want. And no, maybe not. Yeah, sure. And give us feedback.
Yes.
And suggestions of things to talk about. I think. Oh, let me shout out some of the ones I've seen. Around. I think the episode we did about heartbreak, lovers and friends.
Yeah.
I think someone mentioned also touching on like platonic friends, so not just same sex, but what is the opposite of same sex? Opposite sex relationships.
Yeah.
Platonic relationships and friendships in that space.
Yeah.
There was really good thoughts on scams, so scamming will come back.
Oh, actually, yes.
And then, I think also there's been talk about the heartbreak series, but also talk about heartbreak when it comes from family.
Yes. We will do that one and encompass that with a lot of expectations when you're a certain demographic.
Yes.
From certain families.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now we need to come emotionally prepared.
Yes.
And I need to warn my family not to watch that one. And then what else have we had about?
We had the intro. We had character development.
The last one. that one. There's more stories in the vault.
Yes.
And then now we'll bring on guests.
Yes.
Many of whom will be our friends, and hopefully you like them and you want to see them more. But yeah, we're just trying to put that together and see how best to package the entire thing. But we're looking forward to doing more.
Yes, we are.
Yes. So thank you for watching.
Thank you.